This is Marvel Universe Skaar. The figure is part of the third wave of the third series of Marvel Universe figures, or the 2011 series of Marvel Universe figures, otherwise known as the Commander Rogers Shield files. And here's a quick look at the packaging. Great artwork. Somebody tell me who did the artwork for the third wave. Dave, if you're watching, just send me a comment below. Tell me who did these magnificent artwork. If it's Esad Ribic, I am just gonna flip out. I hope it's him. I don't know. Could be somebody else. Somebody tell me who it is. Here is the back of the packaging. Bit more of the assortment of the wave. Okay. So, on to Skaar. Perhaps one of the best, one of the best, if not the best figure in the entire wave, probably next to Doctor Strange. If you're familiar with the Marvel Legends line of the Fin Fang Foom Build-A-Figure wave, which is really just the Hulk wave of the Marvel Legends. I think it was a Toys R Us exclusive, I'm not sure. But anyway, here is the 6-inch Skaar figure, which I actually kind of like better in terms of proportion. I like the detail of this new figure, but in terms of proportion, I kind of like the proportions of this figure much better, because he's less bulky, he's less beefy, he's just a lot more slender, which is how Skaar should be. So anyway, his green is a little bit off, but this one is a little bit dark. Not entirely sure which one is a more comic book accurate, but anyway, what can you do? So, very, very cool figure. Really like this one. Great use of this particular mold. It's a brand new mold with just some borrowed pieces from various figures here and there. And yeah, I like the detail they've put on this guy. Everything about it is just perfect. If you must select from a couple on the shelf, just to get the best paint apps, the area you'd want to be looking at is his eyes. This one's pretty good, but make sure that the green dot that they've painted over the black of his eyes should be a full circle. It should be a dot and no smudging here and there, and then just the silver paint apps on his various parts of his costume. That's about it. Everything else is just perfect on this figure. In terms of articulation, the figure shares articulation with this guy, the Juggernaut. As you can see, almost the same size. A little bit taller because of his head. A little bit bigger because of some accessories, but almost the same size. And as you can see, the chest is the same, shoulders, biceps. Yeah, the forearm and the fists are different, but the hips, to a certain extent, even the crotch piece or the lower torso, thigh, knees, is the same. Giving him a brand new lower part of the leg and foot, but they share the same articulation, except the head, obviously. So, because this guy's head does not, this just rotates. They've given him a new neck, but the body's almost the same as a Juggernaut. So anyway, let's run down the articulation. His neck is on a ball joint that sits on a hinge joint. It's got a ball jointed upper torso, ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, hinge elbow, swivel wrist. It's got a ball jointed hip, thigh swivel, double hinge knees, and ball hinge ankle, which is really not that. The hinge is really ineffective because the front part of the boot is just blocking the articulation, so really difficult to pose his feet. He comes with a base, it says Skaar. Obviously this is the regular release since the variant has Son of Hulk. It's figure number 16. Okay, back. He doesn't really need the stand. I just have the stand so that I could pose him in that pose in the beginning, but he doesn't really need it. He can do well without it. He comes with a big-ass sword that what I'm really glad about is it's not made of that rubbery plastic material. It's still soft and pliable, but it's not that really rubbery soft material, so it can be pretty dangerous. So I'm glad Hasbro let that slip, and it's made of a material that's a lot firmer. You can sheath it in the scabbard and on his back, which is also pretty cool. Just great detail all over. I mean, I'm really pleased at how Hasbro has executed this figure. He's got these non-removable. You could remove them if you remove the fists, but the non-removable bracelet. This kind of reminds me of He-Man's bracelet. He's got a loincloth, a backpack strap for his. I don't think. Oh, you could probably remove. Yeah, you could remove it if you wanted to, with some fidgeting. And that's about it. What's also interesting is that the plastic they used for the fist is a little bit more firmer, but it is of soft rubbery plastic type of quality, and therefore you won't have a difficult time prying his fingers open so that he can hold his sword. So overall, they've fixed a lot of things with this new mold. The one thing that is still bothering me with this mold is really the way they've constructed the hips. And as you can see, it's a ball joint, but it's on a very, I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but there is yeah, right there. It's a very, very narrow, thin bar that there's a ball on it, and then you attach the hip. And it's not very firm. It's not very pliable. It's not very firm. And I'm kind of worried that the more you articulate his hips, one day that thing is going to snap. And I wish that for really bigger figures, Hasbro could just replace that with a stainless steel bar, or just make it thicker or something like that, just to reinforce that whole joint. Because as it is, I am very weary when I articulate this guy. I actually have to just carefully rotate the leg, and not like the other figures where you can just go and pose it. So that's probably the only thing that I'm concerned about this figure, but other than that, just a great figure. I don't really read the Skaar comics. Not a big fan of this character in particular. I don't hate him, I don't like him. It's just, I just don't know much about him, but the figure itself is great. So if you're really a Marvel Universe collector, you've got to pick this one up. But if you're a casual collector, you're just after your X-Men or your Avengers, then you can go ahead and skip this one. But for the amount of plastic that this one has, for the price, I mean, it's priced the same as any other Marvel Universe figure. You're really getting a lot of value for your money. And because I'm just too lazy to take his dad out of packaging, just putting everything back in, here he is with his dad. Almost the same. And same articulation and whatnot. They look really great together. I'm gonna put him back in packaging and hanging up on a wall with this guy. I guess he's just too cool to leave out in the shelf to gather dust. So anyway, there he is. It's a great figure. Again, as I said, for all you Marvel fans out there, you gotta pick up this figure, especially on retail. He's out there, I suppose, except in Manila. I still have issues with this. I mean, you know, I don't want to criticize the local supplier, but that's just the way things are over here. But I'm sure in North America, this guy, you can find him everywhere by now. And yeah, compared to Doctor Strange, this guy is probably the second one picked up on the shelf. Doctor Strange goes first, and then this guy. I think I could be wrong. So anyway, there he is. It's a great figure, highly recommended. Not a lot of problems to it. Just really, really well done by the Hasbro team. 2 thumbs up for this figure. Congrats, the Hasbro team that designed this figure. There you go, Marvel Universe Skaar. If you want to know my latest toy purchases and upcoming reviews, please follow me on Twitter at www.twitter.com/fxfrans. Thanks for watching.